This morning, one of the people connected to a 2025 deadly mass shooting in Atlanta is behind bars. One person was killed, 10 others were hurt.
Atlanta News First Niamani Watson is live from Atlanta Police Headquarters. Niamani, authorities say the suspect was one of the shooters.
Yeah, that's right. Authorities arrested Nasir Williams last night. Jail records show he is charged with murder and 10 counts of aggravated assault. Now, the arrest was made by the FBI Atlanta's Violent Crime Task Force, along with officers from Atlanta and Sandy Springs. The shooting happened on July 28th last year on Edgewood Avenue. That's along a popular strip of bars in the historic Sweet Auburn neighborhood. Now, at the time, police said investigators believed the shooting was the result of a fight. Nearly 2 weeks after the shooting, police arrested 19-year-old Rico Arnold. Since the shooting, the city has put in place several safety measures, including more police patrol in the area. Businesses on Edgewood Avenue and in surrounding areas also formed the historic King District Association and have been meeting with the Atlanta police to discuss safety efforts.
We are putting together a public safety strategy that amplifies what they're doing and what the businesses are doing. It's a question of how do we have a premier destination, and that only happens when the businesses take the lead to make sure that their individual companies are running well and our streets are running well. That's where the city comes in at.
The FBI says that they are still looking for a third suspect. They say they will release details on that person in the coming days, and as soon as we get those details, we'll let you know. Reporting live in downtown Atlanta, I'm Niamani Watson, Atlanta News First.